Right there, right here.
Yeah.
To do their job, ultimately leading to healthier, more nutritious plants. The green revolution is now.
Serious innovation is already done in microbial.
Take it into fermentation. So see here we have some colony growth of bacteria that we're able to then differentiate and characterize, and then being able to tell which ones are the ones that we need for further examination. Take it to the line. We have different types of the facility, and what we do is we'll take it, we'll grow it out, each place, and we'll grow it out into different sizes of culture medium. So that's usually like a triptych soy or potato-based type of media that grows out bacteria. And so from there, we'll take it to the next phase of fermentation tank. So it's more of the
Okay, we're ready. Let's go.
when the bacteria that we have identified to be put into the product for bacteria for agriculture is first thawed out, which is stored in outside in minus 80 degrees Celsius, ultra low temperature freezers. It's brought into the facility, and it's first grown out in petri plates where you have colonization occurring of the bacteria, so you can identify and then characterize the bacteria through different tests like enzymes and biochemical assays. We're able to see through this magnification scope closer colonization, so you can identify the colonies, and you can see what they look like, and then you can start picking them out through QC and QA analysis. We do a battery of QC and QA analysis to make sure that it is the correct bacterium to move forward into the formulation. Bacterium then is grown out into small bench scale solutions like this triptych soy broth, also potato and soybean types of broths, where the bacteria are preferentially grown out at 37 degrees Celsius. So they like that temperature, they like this type of media. Once we're able to identify what the bacteria are and grow them out to a certain concentration, we can then take them over to the next phase, would be the benchtop R&D. And what we see here in this 45, 50 milliliter conical vial is that we're seeing over 1 trillion cells per milliliter. That's very rare in the industry. Usually it's at about 180 million to about 750 million CFUs per milliliter. So by doing that through many, many trials of optimization of the vessels, getting them to a point where the bacteria are growing individually, one at a time, to very high concentrations, so that we can then cut them at the very end when we make the final product together. And so the product, like Nature Vigor, has over 50 species of bacteria in there, with some more dominant than others, but we have a total of 50 bacteria in there that all perform different functions in the soil, whether it's to release nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, divalent cations, or to help chelate the soil, working with different types of soil amendments. And so that's what Nature Vigor is composed of. All these bacteria are isolated from different points in the soil around the US and worldwide. We do a battery of tests, biochemical and enzymatic tests, to find out how they perform in the soil and how they perform with one another. So in that way, when we send them out to Africa or to Nigeria, different places, they can work on all soils, on all types of soils in all different regions. So it doesn't have to be a specific region for a specific organism. Through these battery of tests, we know that they're going to work universally. And so those are the types of strains, the types of tests that we refer to. When we grow them out at high concentrations here, we start taking them to different vessels where you do a subculture. And through subculturing, you're allowing them to grow on top of one another and allowing more of a filtration type system where you have sedimentation, precipitation going towards the bottom of the vessel. And that's part of our IP that allows for super high concentration of bacteria. So by the time we get to the last vessel through these series of subculturing steps, that's when we have over 1 trillion bacteria per milliliter, which is, it's almost impossible and unheard of in the industry to get that high. But through a series of subculturing steps that we learn through our optimization process, that we're able to do that. And so when we have our final product, we'll then ship that out to our packager and blender, which will then store that in a vault through our contract with them, and then they're able to blend and package the way we want, 100 containers a week if we need them to do that. So they follow our exact protocol, and there, but here is our IP. Here is where we identify, we characterize, we grow, we subculture, and we're able to optimize for your needs. Here, strictly microbials that are beneficial to the soil in agriculture. And no one here is allowed to enter this facility. Everything is taken out there and through contract is packaged and blended and shipped.
As your protocol. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So everything is done here under our own IP umbrella.
You just want to, you want to get what you want here. Every quality, every specification, characterize all those things before you take to them. As package.
Absolutely. We'll do all the QC here. We'll even do.
Our government would like to know all the procedure. You know, I'm a businessman. If you really want to get business done, you need to know all the procedure for the first time before you sign agreement. Business will start. You understand? So now we have all this idea. We have taken me to the packaging company. I saw everything here. You showed me the scientist lab now. I saw everything. So what we need now to bring all the necessary information about your company, all the certificate approved by United States of America or outside the country or whatever that makes the company grow by the level you are today, all those profiles. Our government would like to see it and make sure everything is proper before they will proceed. That is the name.
Have we got all the certifications in line with the US?
Correct.
Correct. How many universities are we studying out tested the product in?
Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn, and then there's several you guys have contracted as well.
We have in Vietnam as well. University in
If you
Vietnam.
have outside the country, US, they would like to see it. It will give them more courage to conclude whatever they have with us.
I know in Zambia we've been testing for the last 6 months. Our results have just come out on the.
I only come
The
here
fertilizer.
to get reports and tell them what I saw. I cannot say what I don't know. You understand? So we need all the necessary information. Apart from what I'm seeing now, we need necessary information about the company account number, company registration, life certificates, all those things is necessary. Because that is part of the profile they want to see. So it will enable them to check on their own. You know, we have embassy here in the United States. They would like to work with embassy and make sure everything is right before they proceed. Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay, all set?
anything else you want to find out? Anything else you want to put in?
Not
For this and culture growing it the correct way, where you have over 1 trillion bacteria made per milliliter. So we'll then grow it out from a 50 gallon. So every 20 hours you can continually turn around.
And well, how much of microbes for how many containers would this set up?
Once we do it, we're doing it at the trillions scale per milliliter or trillions per gram. One batch run will make at least 50 containers.
One batch run.
One batch run. So we're doing this, and depending on what product is made,
The nature vigor and the
Yeah. So that's because that has a blend of different bacteria. So every time we grow them out individually, and then we combine them at the end. So we don't grow them together as a group. We grow them individually, and so then that will then combine into one final product, a dry. And so something like that will then it's not 50 containers. You'd be more like 20 containers because of the concentrations.
Okay.
And so it's still a lot of container loads, but you're able, because of our R&D processes, we're able to concentrate it. So many companies out there, when you grow out bacteria, you only have, say, for time. So it takes them toll processing many weeks to do that. So it's just a function of the R&D and time scale that we've done this. Keep product and inventory and storage frozen in what are called ultra low temperature freezers, which are minus 80 degrees Celsius. So the bacteria are stored at minus 80 degrees Celsius, which is like minus 200 Fahrenheit.
Where's it stored?
We keep them. We bring it here. It's stored off-site,
Yeah.
and so it's at a secure location. So
Okay.
there's some locations that you're able to do this and hold your freezer and refrigeration samples away from the warehouse. So things are different in case something happens. It's not all on one location. So that's common practice.
Okay.
And so we'll bring that here, ready for a batch run. We start with the Petri plates and the bench processing, bring it here, we do QC and QA, and we'll begin to grow it and do subcultures from one vessel to another. And through the subculturing, that what concentrates the bacteria to a final product of over 1 trillion per milliliter. So with that, you can then dilute to a final product that you can make so many tons and so many totes.
So these totes you'd send it to the packing
We would send this material,
which they
here.
will mix it there for you then.
Yeah, and we'll give them protocol on how to cut it, how to dilute it correctly, and they would then do that with filtered water. They use DI water, following our instructions precisely. So here we just want to do the microbial portion of it, and the whole idea is mass, is high concentrations of it, so that we can provide that to them. They can do the cuts according to our protocol, and then make the final product. But with all these products that we have, it's a blend of 6, 7, 8 microbials, all grown individually. Yeah, and so only then is when we blend them at the very end. So it's always best to grow them one at a time, so you can control the quality of them. You know the characterization.
Okay, so where do you grow it one at a time? Is it that place right here?
Here is where we grow everything one at a time. So here's where our intellectual property is. So all the microbes are here.
Yes, here is just like a scientific place that you get all the quality you want and now pass to them to package.
Right, that's right. That's right. Under confidentiality.
Packaging, they don't know anything. They
So
just know
that little
to
safe
pack
that
it.
we saw there, that's where they keep all
Yeah.
all the
Through confidentiality agreements that we
she
have.
said that's all the okay.
So they're able to store everything there for us under these agreements. And what they do there is just a toll. We tell them 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have the IP up here protected away from their eyes. So they just know what to do. But here we're able to produce and isolate and characterize. So any problem or demand, say from Nigeria, there's a problem with certain insect or pest or soil health, you'll let us know. We're able to do R&D here and try to customize specifically for Nigeria. So that's we would want feedback from you, saying, hey, we have farmers who have this problem, A, B, and C. What can you give us to help? And that's what we would take over here and start doing.
Yeah, I think that's
specific.
what's important, that we have that service and connection, that we want to work with farmers to see what the issues are and to help correct it based on the land.
Oil spill, sludge, arsenic, some kind of heavy metal pollutant. There's bacteria that we can provide specific for that. For that place, any kind of oil spill.
Because why I ask question, you know, in Nigeria we have different states, different lands, different, everything is different. So I don't know how it will work in all, like you have southern states, you have northern states. Even in northern states there are different lands there. So we need to know the particular
Yes.
microbial we are going to use in general.
Right, no, absolutely.
You
You
understand?
have a general microbe general pack that uses for all
Yes.
soils.
Yeah, it's the nature figure.
Yeah, we
Because
have
if
the
it-
general
okay.
group of microbes that we use. However, say for instance, remember that armyworm problem? So we concentrated with particular microbes that can help fight the armyworm. So certain ones we add more concentration of certain microbes.
Have you supplied to any part of Africa?
Zambia.
Zambia. We're
Zambia.
doing big testing.
We've done
on
Zambia,
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah. We've done the Mkushi farms.
Okay.
There was
So
also
it's working in Zambia now.
perfect. we've done the tests have done in the labs. We've done the lab results. We've done Zari's done all the results for us. The government's done all the results.
Because
Pesticides.
why
and
I asking all these questions, maybe our government representative would like to know where that we worked before.
Right.
So that you give them more confidence to proceed. If they cannot get, maybe they will be having that. So that's why I asked where in Africa.
Africa, the only country we've registered to do it in 19 countries. Our tests are being done in Zambia.
Okay.
Okay, all the tests have been passed in Zambia with the ZARI, which is the Zambian Agricultural Research Center.
Okay.
Okay, they've done all the passing, we've got all the results from them. Comesa's endorsed it, which has gone over to 19 Comesa states. And so with the Makushi farmers, we've done tests now 5 hectares on wheat. So we'll send out when Nigerian delegates go down to Zambia, they will have a look at all those farms that we've done. They can speak directly to the farmers there and the government.
Yeah, because you know our country now are very, very somehow strict in anything they do.
Yes.
It's not like before, not like business as usual. Everybody wants to know what is doing.
Yes.
And they get it right. So they would like to see some proof of documentation shows that this thing has worked so place or so place. So it will give them more morale to do the business.
Yeah, we test some university. We can give you some of those tests.
All the tests have been done here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's very, very important to give us some documentation approved by government or
We got all that.
organization.
We have several microbial, enzyme-related products as well that we make. We package those, and this is the area where we do mainly 5-gallon and below. This area over here is our finished goods area, in and out shipments. And this back here, we have a number of different circuits. Plus, this area is pretty rough because it's a lot of our raw materials and packaging and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a mess right now because we just installed a new circuit. But we'll go back there and show you. We'll take products that are difficult or in high volumes, and we create a circuit for it. And
You guys are the best at that.
Yeah, we really are. This area back here is mainly our warehousing operations and our drumming operations, or toting operations. We currently now will have anywhere from 35 to 40 trucks a day in and out, unpacking, packing, containerizing and shipping overseas, export. They've been customers of ours for over 40 years. And we're just going into our 50th year now. So typically once customers come to us, they never leave, which is a good thing. Makes my job sometimes obsolete as a business development manager. These two buildings over here are where we do flammable products. We do our blending in this one and our packaging in this area here. Now because of our growth, we've just recently purchased this whole area next door to us. This was formerly, you can see in this picture, it was a lumber yard, and they closed down and we were able to buy that. So collectively here, we have about 34 acres, 35 acres that we have to operate on, and we're getting ready to add some new circuits over here for a company called you guys heard of Nalco?
Oh yeah.
Nalco Champion. We do ungodly amounts a month for those guys. Now this is just our Rosenberg location. We also have a plant in El Campo, Texas. El Campo, Texas is roughly about the size of this, but we only have one building on it right now. We just did a $2.2 million expansion in that area where we put in new outdoor blending, packaging, but it's wide open. We can do anything there. One thing I'll show you today is when we have a high volume like you guys have, in these areas over here, they're not reflected in this picture, but I'll show you the operations. We're able to gear up very quickly, and we've have developed some outdoor mixed tanks that have 24, 25 horsepower mixers on there, create a lot of volatility. Stainless steel, lined, you know, Carboline liners in them or whatever we need, where we're able to produce upwards of 18,000 gallons per batch.
Wow.
So those batches are,
You said 24 horsepower?
yeah, each of those motors are 24 horsepower. It creates, the mixing on the inside is like a hurricane. It's just incredible. And so from there, you know, we can do basically 3 containers or 3, what would be considered 3 ISO trucks. An ISO truck has anywhere from 12 to 13 totes a piece. So if you thought about it, it would be the same as doing 36 totes at a time, which would be 3 truckloads per batch.
Yeah.
You know, and so you're looking at 50, you said?
About 50.
Yeah, so at a 5-day-a-week operation, that's 60, we could do 60 totes a month, or 60 truckloads a week pretty easily out of that.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
it.
And so if those are currently being utilized, but for your operation, it's probably something that we could do depending on the blend. But we also have capability inside, I'll show you. So, through the window you can. With this, mainly a lot of wet chemistry. We can do pretty much any kind of QC operations that you require. We don't have the equipment necessary. You know, projects like your size will require and train our personnel. We just added some FTIRs, a couple of other pieces of equipment, Carl Fisher. Basically produce your product with the directions that you give us to do it. And so people say, well, what's your standard policy on this or standard policy on that? We have general policies, but typically the customers dictate what that policy is.
We provide you a protocol.
Yes.
One step 2.
Well, we keep it retained for a year. Some customers want us to keep them for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and that's not a problem. But as you can see, the guys come in, and then before they're able to unload or move to the next step of the project, they got to come and find out whether or not their products were approved or not. So it completely.
operation now, so we can show you back here.
product, fill it with water, and then use the full tear system to mix it right into the pump. Yep. So this is one of those structures I told you about. So this here will hold 90. It's about a 9,500 gallon tank altogether, but it has to be heated coming off. We're using for a top of the product. And you can do it right here. We didn't have anything that could do it before, so we had to keep the line, bring it in. So we had a specialized tank to make it. That basically right now is wide open. We're still trying to determine whether or not we can put, if we want to put a 100,000 square foot or 500,000 square foot or any other kind of mixing. Problem with something, we bring it back here, we can rework it, do anything we need to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere else. There's a tank, a containment tank underneath that concrete that drains into it. We can then steam it or do whatever else we need to treat it with whatever chemicals we need to do. This is one of those unique circuits that we talked about. This is where they take high molecular weight polymers, acids. We brought in, we had the customer, the need the customer had was they had 3 different powders they needed to blend together. The customer didn't like the powders because the powder gets all over the plant. Yeah. So we bring in all the powders. We developed a way to develop these tanks. We can keep these ISO tanks at 256 degrees. It goes around, the drum is cooler, so that when the product hits, it's immediately hard, and by the time it comes back around, it's hard, and it chips it off. So you end up with product. Got any flake stuff over here, Jamie? Yeah. Is this already flake? So if you can imagine taking 3 really fine powders and then we turn it into that. So now when the customer, their customer takes it and dumps it into their circuit, there's no dust or anything. It just goes right in, they remelt it, and it goes into a lubrication. So it's pretty hardcore. And the unique thing is so we had it set with it early on. Now they've already asked us to move up. Now you can see why you don't wear Take it out. the sheath's working.
It's great. Perfect size.
Not gonna trip.
Made for me.
The back is the area where we do not run. So here's an example, guys. This is an example of we had a rush order, customer needed something done. We just set up a filling line at one of the open bay doors. We feed directly out of that tanker and we do the drums by hand. We learned a long time ago, our guys could do more by hand
Wow.
than these other machines can do because we're a batch company. You know, they need 2 truckloads of this, 1 truckload of that. And using we have automated fillers, we never use them. We only run enough for that one product. How much employees do you have? I think we're 125 employees here. And then we have another 30 or so down in El Campo. So we're close to that thing. Now, that fluctuates because a lot of times, a lot of our roles, we use contract labor. So if demand is down, we adjust our labor accordingly.
Hey, Klein. Last employee, huh? Good for them. Good for get a lot of job.
This one, they moved here, I want to say, I can't remember if it's 13 years or 15 years here. Prior to this, we were up closer to Houston, and we outgrew that facility and moved out here. So they've been here, I think, 13 years, maybe 13, 15 years, but we've expanded several times here already. All of this is a brand new expansion. Yeah, and if you look in when we look in that picture we have in our conference room, you can tell by the rooftop where the expansion's at. Because it's the lighter color. So people always say, why is the roof different color? And it's like, well, it's added at different times. As you can see, 330-gallon totes all going on every day. I can't take you down. Let's watch these guys here.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bud. So there you see one of our supervisors doing a QC check on the product right now. So once everything is packed, ready to go, then there's a check. We'll put together a checklist, and then the supervisor comes through and does a check on everything before it gets loaded out.
What happens like the product is done? It doesn't go to send it.
Well, first of all, we don't pack it until the product is at standard, QC. And then
Yeah, the
some
pack,
customers will have us package. Some customers will have us package our test like every 10 runs or every 10 cuts. We pull samples and just make sure so run 1, we tested before packaging, and we can pull samples through. It's just whatever you guys decide to run. They'll bring the material back here, and we'll rework it, retest it, and repackage it. If that's what we want to do, we'll custom. Now if the totes are polished one-way totes like these, the stainless steel. Probably the stainless steel, the ones we're doing, yeah, are like flammable. More hazardous, really hazardous products. Yeah. A lot of these are basically that customers have to that are functionally. Now we're coming up to those 2 side buildings I told you about. Yep.
wise, you can see how everything will flow into these drains. Then all of these drains flow into a bigger tank in the front of the place. And we have the ability to release water into the city once it's tested and checked, you know, if it's just flush water, stuff like that, non-hazardous. But we contain everything on site so that there's no accident. That we set up over here is one of those operations where they said, hey, we need, you know, 30, 40, 50 containers a month. And so this is really cool. Product is probably in that range where you're at, where it's basically, you know, 40, 50, big spike as much as 80. We have storage tanks for raw materials, and then over here you can see develop an outdoor system where you can drop the supersets into a high speed. So you see on that tank with the 4 boxes in the front, each of those are the bearing control for the motors that are on the top. They go all the way to about 1 foot from the bottom. So I'll pop that on the yeah, well, top down agitator, it's like a hurricane. I bet. People didn't think we could. The customer had a really hard time getting the product to mix. We did it here. Take it 20 minutes. Yeah, it's done. That's awesome.
It's not too hot in here, huh? It's not too bad.
Once again, this is one of those things where this is our staging area, liquid, dry, finished goods go in and out, either out that door or in this door. But we've grown so much, we've had to incorporate some other mixing opportunities that we have that are inside that you're going to see. That's to show you how quickly we get up.
Let's finish.
So, 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago when I started, this operation here was a scaling operation, and they would bring over the totes, and they would fill right through the totes into the bale. And it grew so much that now we bring in these 5,000-gallon ISO tanks, and product goes in there. You guys are able to get one of these a day with the tail. Very good. there's at least a truck or 2 trucks a day of this product. Down there, you'll see we're one of the 2 companies in the Gulf Coast area that have it. You guys put a different types of foliage Yeah, we currently right now we're making a product for the highway. And it's got to be test down to about a 1 to 2 microbial size. Yeah. So it takes 6 passes through the mill, and then we decrease the size each pass. So we'll make it. We bring it in one side. Run it through the tank, put it in the other tank. Once it's all through, then we run it through that tank. No, the silver. That's our GI water. We have our GI water plant. Off the paint bottles come in. That's what this magazine hoses and everything come from there into the inside of the tank. So this is a view of the tank, or the mix tank from a different angle. All of the different tanks that we have. Our own fabrication shop, we have to do everything. They have all staying at the same fabrication. Now do it all in that. That's my stuff in this thing now. We're in the green floor, that out of the green floor. We have at least 4 or 5 second generation managers that have been here from the parents. They make
Also, the filling company.
Yeah, that's a lot of job there.
Yeah, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 companies. The product comes to the filling company. These guys ship the containers, labels, pallets there, and then the transportation company picks it up and distributes.
So Microbial will just manufacture them in full containers, send them down there for complete filling, transportation, palleting, boxing, whatever. So we do everything in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So we only supply the bulk. So we supply by bulk directly to Nigeria. In that way we
I
create
think
jobs.
this presentation will be more
Yes, in that way
acceptable.
in that way we create more jobs in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Farming plus different companies will be born because of Microbial.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so
Anything else you
I'm
want to add?
glad I was having the help.
So we'll design, send it there, and then we'll manufacture, do everything in Nigeria.
Yeah, let them not design for us.
Yes.
We design everything here
Yes.
and give them what they will do.
Correct.
So are you going to use 2.5 gallons or 5 gallon?
No, that would be Nigeria.
Nigeria will be
to
a-
decide based on their clientele. They have like small farmers, big farmers, so they'll
Yeah.
determine that.
All you need to labeling,
Yeah.
all those.
So we'll do all the designs, all the
all the
labels,
yeah.
everything for them. They just
Yeah.
go over there,
And
they
press
just
it, yeah.
put it together based on whatever the
Yeah.
units they need.
For me, I prefer doing label ideas here. Don't when you go down there, you show them. They will do the same.
Yeah. All the designs
Well,
are
if I
actually
have to
done
come
here,
over
yeah.
and help show them how to fill them, I will. Is this to go back?
Now I've got you. I don't think. Right. All right, Jeff. Wait. Oh, that's Team USA.
You are Team Zambia, not you.
Yes. we should get some new shirts made, man. Well, that's a striker pose. Lift him a bit up, mate. Look at that.
Blimey.
Treb, now you hold it up. Now you hold him up. You pick it up.
PS is okay.
7 is okay.
Oh, it says.
Okay.
pH is okay.
Yeah, PS is not very important to our microbes. Our microbes can improve pH, but
Okay.
the chlorine will kill them.
Okay. So
So
how?
what water, if you're using dam water, which water do you using? Just rain?
Rain, yeah.
Only rain?
Rain-fed, yeah.
So this only be,
This is rainwater.
this is rainwater. So rainwater should be good.
It should be fine, yeah. That's why where's the chlorine coming
Yeah.
from?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense where the chlorine is coming from.
When do you want to spray? You want to spray now?
No, it's so suddenly.
This afternoon, late this afternoon.
Yeah.
The bin? You. I'm down in the field.
I'm taking it. I'm filming it, man.
Look what Tram is doing. She's killing us. She's taking our yields away.
Mike, do you realise how much money there is here?
Yeah, she's taking our yields away.
Eh?
Now she's going to go to the chemical site and take twice as much.
Tired of this?
Look,
Eh?
you took the strongest one here.
Because we need to compare. We have a lot of this in there.
Yeah, in the middle.
Yeah.
But on the outside here, we're all dying.
Do you know how much money that is?
No, we're not dying,
Tram,
we're small.
do you realise how much money that is?
You know what you just saw? This thing?
Eh?
5 yields is gone.
Eh? I
Look
could
at
buy
that
some
small thing you
apples
bring
in
now.
Vietnam.
Why you bring that small thing here?
What's that?
Take and not even flour there.
Is that it?
No, why is
Take the
not
right
that
one, man.
flour?
What's that
We
for?
need something.
Yeah, just take it and throw it away, please.
That's really shitty.
Yeah.
Eh?
Take the real stuff from this, which got a lot of yield.
Yeah.
Wow, this plant is good. I think it's good. I like it. Love it.
Clive, it's... Anyway, I don't want to swear, but
I swear what hell.
yeah.
If they don't kill our microbes, I think everywhere is just like this.
Nobody kill our microbes. Our microbes die itself.
Yeah, they kill by tip top.
Ah, tip top.
Yeah.
Tip top, they sprayed it, remember?
Yeah.
They kill it when they start to work and they kill it. And how can we compare?
We have to compare. Don't say how can we. We have to.
Yes. So it's
Yeah.
better.
No, but what she's saying is,
I
because they
understand.
sprayed after
I understand.
and messed up
If
the...
they don't spray tip top,
But we know we're going to get yields. But let's get good yields.
Flipping hell.
Now you took the whole crop from me. I hope you got yields there.
Yeah, we got no
Flour. I
money,
want to see
worry.
flour. I don't see
We
flour there.
destroyed it. We destroyed this.
Oh,
Right?
Okay, yes, some flour. But still, we got more flour than this. What the hell's going on here?
Brendan, can you
Keep him up.
yeah, you keep them,
look
and
at that.
then I
Look.
take a picture of you.
Look how it's strong, eh? Look here.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
ours to them.
this
It's
is
the
what
same,
we
it's
were
more the same,
saying.
It's more the same.
But I make ours like this so it looks taller.
This is ours. Yeah. This is ours.
You don't even need to
And this is
say.
the shit.
Wait.
Eh?
Roll my sleeves up so I can show muscles.
Huh? You see?
They got a lot of roots as well.
Yeah.
No,
But no, it's not. Once you
there's
cycle
no
the soil,
root there, Clive, man.
just once you cycle the soil, you'll see. Look at this root coming out.
No, I'm
here.
very happy with our stuff, eh?
Yeah.
I'm very happy with it.
Huh?
I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
But just Teddy's not convinced we're going to beat these yields.
Oh,
Ted.
Ted wants you to, he's just saying that.
And
He knows,
He
yeah?
wants it to do. He wants
Of course he does.
wants it to happen.
But as he said, if we come a little bit lower,
It's just he's
he's happy. He's
yeah.
happy with the numbers.
As long as he can make it.
Let's send these to Tram. She'll be proud of herself.
It's not thick enough. That's the issue. Is the clay. So this clay is supposed to be organic.
You see what you're picking up on the satellite or the plane is picking this up.
The other part.
You're picking this thing up. That's why this one part is like a jet.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Feel it.
Look at this.
Look at this area here. From where you are there. You see, look at this area.
Yeah.
See, now what we got to find out is why is this like this, and why is that
That's like that, yeah.
What is it that's making it grow like this here? It goes like this. Now, if you show me this,
For the whole, yeah.
and you show me this type of
It's
head,
different.
then this is.
You'll be happy.
Now we've got something.
Yeah.
We've got something. So that we know it works. We just got to find out why it's not working.
On that side
Why
part.
it's not working. But you see where it has grown better and it's tilled more. It looks much thicker.
Yeah.
You know.
We don't know. But this is the what you're seeing up there on the satellite. Look, this
Yeah.
this shit.
Yeah, this shit. Yeah.
Look how much it is. It's all covered.
Yeah.
Nothing will grow on this.
Yeah.
It's still amazing.
It's grown. It started to grow. Same for Anne and Perry
Yeah.
and Mai
This is the one. This is the thing.
and Tramp. Show him.
Oh, Tramp.
That's
This is
what
you're seeing on the
that was supposed to have been dead and it came back to life.
yeah.
Eh? It's like Jesus.
Nah, but this is looking great, eh?
Yeah. No, it's good. Yeah, you know
I
this.
think we might
You
be
know.
just maybe below his yield because of the.
Yeah, but it was stressed, Clive, at
It
the
was a lot of
beginning.
stress,
Yeah,
but I think we'll
it
get
was
it back.
stressed. Yeah, we all know it was stressed, but it's come back.
But,
Yeah.
it's made a great recovery. Great recovery.
So next time it's just done complete
That's
properly.
But we want to know from Ted, why is that part? There's pockets here that's
It's
so
different.
well, that looks so great, and there's pockets that look bad.
Okay,
Why?
talk into the camera so they can see.
We want to know why there's some pockets looking so strong, and
Okay.
there's some pockets looking weak.
Okay.
Not bad, but just a little weak.
Yeah.
But there's pockets here looking strong. Yeah.
So to us, this is good stuff.
Yeah. And all the stress we had,
So,
turned out to be.
because the Americans were also surprised. It doesn't work.
They were shocked here.
Why? It should work because it's working everywhere. What's the weather like in Africa? Now we tell them, send them, this is how it looks like. Say, yes!
Now they can be proud.
Now they will be saying
Yeah, now they can be proud. He's done his job. From all the stress.
Is that the way maize the bottom?
We go all the way down. We sprayed all over, so no pests.
3 times.
3 times, okay.
3 times.
All on this as well now.
Yeah, no, yeah, we haven't
No,
done it.
no,
And there's no pests here as well.
No.
So our pesticides are working well then.
Okay.
And
Yes.
we've done no fungicides here either.
We've done the fungicide here
Yeah,
as well.
but we haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever you've done is working inside it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to just say something for the camera before we go out? Just a
No,
summary.
this is beautiful. That's it. I just want to know what's this part. This thing. What's this? It happens.
It's a borer.
Okay.
But you'll see that there's a little, at the bottom of the plant, you'll see that there's a hole.
Oh, okay.
But it's very seldom.
Very
you get
seldom.
1-1-1.
Oh,
But we get it every year.
okay.
But it's at the bottom of the plant.
Okay.
The borer.
Go see if we can find something for that. The borer.
Yeah, but it's on one of the plants.
Eh? I know, but still. Again, Ted? Blimey.
I don't know. I don't know which side is it in.
I think
You
this-
can tell us.
So that's why maybe we use the 5 kilo and the 10
There's
kilo.
a split.
There's a split,
definitely-
yes.
And in fact, remember the one we made the mistake.
Yes.
Where
Yeah,
we put
yes,
17 kgs on one place
Yeah.
and 5 on the other.
Other place.
Maybe this is a 17.
Maybe this is a 17.
But I mean, you can see the difference here.
Beautiful. This is 17.
Compared to there.
Yeah.
That's the whole of this.
So we just need to tell them as well. You know, we're trying different rates.
Different rates.
Yeah.
You know?
But this is beautiful. Look at it.
It's that is good. We just got to concentrate on the
On
head
the
size.
head size.
You know, we need to improve the head size. It's there, but not as good as. Okay. We're still losing 10% there at least.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Look there. Look at the top nudge.
Yeah, there's 2.
And the problem is, you know, each one of these packets, that thing there,
The number of seeds.
can go up to 5. Just that little thing there.
Can have 5.
Yeah, can have 5 inside there. So that's what you get. You know, that's what
That's
you're trying to
a
fill. Yeah. That's what you're trying to fill.
So it-
Okay,
it
when
is
they come
about-
with the Nigerians, we must just remember.
We come this side.
Yeah, we need to move down a bit.
Yeah.
We need to move a little bit further. There's the marker there.
Yeah. Here's the marker there.
There's the marker there.
But look how beautiful this
What,
is.
what are these?
This is what it is.
That's the whole of this portion. You got much. And there is no tip top here. No, there
No,
was
they must
tip
tip top. Tip top was
They did
everywhere.
tip
But,
top
but
everywhere.
this thing just outgrew the tip top and everything. It looks beautiful this side.
Some microbes survived.
No, but this is 17 kilos looks like. This must be the bigger one.
This must be the double rate.
Yeah, double rate. What we
Let
put
me
on
just
here.
ask Leroy.
So maybe that's what we need, double rate.
No. We
It would have been top.
Not tip top, but top.
no, we'd have been top without any
Top tip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
without any tip top.
It's tip, tip, top, top, tip, top, tip.
We're doing placing orders for 20, 30 containers now.
Yeah. We will do.
Leroy, I'm down in the field with Clive. If I'm standing in the trial, looking down towards P11, where is the right-hand side the place where we put double the amount, or
The left-hand side.
that doesn't work?
It,
Have you-
this is
right-hand
the
side
norm.
is-
This is the normal amount.
This is a normal.
Oops. Sorry, Anne. It's just the excitement here. Everybody starts swearing. Yep.
So we're using less is better then.
Yeah. Eh?
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So that theory doesn't work. Okay. Good. Thanks. No. So this is the smaller rate.
Smaller rate.
Yeah.
So the smaller rate is better.
Better.
I don't know how that works.
Eh? Because this is how it's supposed to work.
Smaller rate was supposed to work.
that was the actual instruction. Yeah. For it to work
So
properly.
if you put more, it hurt it.
Eh?
Choked it or
No,
what?
it can't hit.
They can't hurt it, but it's microbes. Can't hurt it.
Yeah. Maybe they're going to shoot up.
But anyway,
next
look,
week.
I think there's a foundation for, at least for what we're going to do to follow it on. The soybeans, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
And with the soybeans, we're going to harvest here, and
Okay.
we're leaving it as it is.
As it is, yes.
And then we'll drill straight through there. We've just bought ourselves a fancy new Brazilian planter.
Okay.
So that'll be I think that we can test out here.
Give me a wrong picture.
Eh?
The picture he sent me. I said, look. It says white. I looked. I said, what's this?
It's changing.
I didn't like, look at this one. It's massive. More water. 3 weeks behind.
It's wet. If you just go underneath them, this is totally wet. There's no, it's not dry. That's wet.
Yeah.
It's very wet. It's enough moisture. It's no problem. Anyway, it's on its way here. It's coming. It should cover here by tonight. It'll be over here.
That one.
So
I'm happy.
you're happy to bring the Nigerian?
I'm happy.
I mean, I think we must be honest with them.
Yes, we're honest
And just
with
say,
them.
look, we
had a problem.
had a problem in the beginning.
And
There was some
Yes.
methodology that like for example, I didn't know that spraying, I sprayed tip top
Yeah.
Herbicide.
Tip top
kill the
to
microbes.
kill the maize.
Kill the microbes.
Kill the microbes.
Kill the microbes. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They are very sensitive to
But then we've got an issue though. Then what do we do? What do we do to?
We use our own fungicide.
Yeah, we
No, but
use
it's not a fungicide. It's a herbicide.
But we've got X9. X9's a herbicide.
For what?
For killing all kills all
You
the
need the selective herbicide.
weeds.
which can
Yeah.
kill
we
only
need the
the
Well,
microbes.
it's yeah.
Yeah, so
But
But how does a herbicide kill the microbes?
if it's chemical, it's because it's poison. It's like chlorine. Because some of these chemicals, you find it's an organochloride. Tip top is an organochloride.
So it would have killed
yeah, because of chlorine. Because there is a good organophosphates and organochloride. So that one is an organochloride, and organochlorides are very difficult. So you can see that
I
the
think
organochlorides were actually affecting the growth.
You can pay into the account. Remember we've done that before.
Well, Clive was growing nicely.
Yeah.
It's looking nice.
something wrong with the soil, and that's why it's dried up. That's why it dried up there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
With the soil. Does it mean it's not going to bear weight?
No, it will be a bit. You can feel, yeah. You see here?
No, I'm
Where you-
talking about the joint now.
Oh, yeah, you can forget that as well. No, you're not gonna get anything much of this.
Yeah, it's all empty pocket.
You feel the bottom?
Yeah.
It's empty. I'm also gonna look healthy, eh? Look. Feel it. Feel. You feel?
Yeah.
And then you got it with all of them.
Like
Yeah. You got it with all of them. It feels full. Which is nice. Can we go over to the chemical side? How does it look?
when before it started to germinate, they were all growing exactly the same. But if I the same. And when we sprayed some stuff on it, then this one died. So now we sprayed stuff on it. Now it's looking good. And that's all there is. You see that that's they're very big company. Oh, very big. Very big. Very big. This is the first test we done in Africa. In the whole of Africa, this is the first test. Oh, it'll be massive. Very big. Only problem we got to worry about. Boys who know it, they still maintain. Yeah, of course. They will never lose. They will say, oh, it's not big like this. So you use them for 50 years, you're okay. And the way Americans are, you can't compete. You can't compete with them. Once they are on the market, you just have to change. Yeah, you just have to fight with them. Yeah. Because we want to compete with them. Yes, that's the thing. Yeah. It should be opening soon. Very soon. It's this is a company. We got an office out there, but we're looking for an office now. So you see, we're going to be all over. In Japan, we're going to be in the Congo, that side, all over the country. So don't worry. Soon they'll just say, coming to the office. Yeah. All good. Is there packets in the back of your bike? Packets for... Like a plastic. You want to take some samples? Oh yeah. For my food. Right, you, she understands you. She buys you car. She's paying your accommodation. So you is just the food. No, food will be done. Yeah, so now those other things is me now to help. That's why I'm not going to break. I have no problem.
We just drove up to that everybody was the driver. He was the driver. When the driver we said the field is looking very different. He was the first one to notice it. You can look at the field look. And you can see the difference immediately, right? Because he's not working at the moment, but I could see his face already when we were talking to him in the city, I think, right?
It's more like glaze, so don't put the glaze. But it comes
Yeah. Yeah, plus energy is the thing, and we have injection of food between about 10 days, 10 to 11 days. Okay, so that will cover the yeah, that's what we do, yeah.
If our costs are the same, and then